Gilbert. This poem is called After Ecclesiastes. Vanity of vanities, all is vanity. Ecclesiastes 9. I sit in my garden listening to the mourning doves, mockingbirds, cardinals. Better is the call of mating birds in springtime than the noise of television and a striving after wind. Better the doves cooing from treetops, though they pass like a shadow, for who can tell what will be after them under the sun? Vanity of vanities, behold, all is vanity. Computers will be forgotten. There will be no remembrance of cell phones, radios, automobiles, TV pundits are dust, political candidates are wind. He who loves fame will not be satisfied with fame. This also is vanity. There will be no remembrance of celebrities. None will remember names scratched in sand. Better is the end of a thing than its beginning, if there be endings and beginnings, for every ending is a beginning. Who knows what wonders will follow when the sun expires into darkness? Wonder upon wonder, each vanishes in its time. Even now, this moment of soft breeze, bird calls, a distant siren, the sun going down, vanity of vanities, my beating heart, the flickering light in the trees.
I'm Christine Irving, and my poem is Coyote. Coyote might have gone the way of buffalo or beaver, but he learned to smell strychnine in the snares, taught himself not to eat the trapper's tainted meat. Shifting his boundaries, he followed bulldozers east through raised woodlands, skulking into clearings, foraging upturned earth for insect eggs and baby mice until he turned up on a truck farm in New Jersey, gulping down blackberries, stripping savory bushes till his chin ran red. Now he ranges around Boston, Pensacola, and Poughkeepsie, lured into a maze of safe sidewalks by the pull of painted t-shirts, carved fetishes of thread-wrapped stone. People should consider who they conjure: dung-eater, prophet with no honor, liar, iconoclast, thief, trickster coyote, casting moon shadows, haunting suburban hedges, beating the odds.
I'm Rosemary Iwasa. Left or taken? Is it more terrible to be the one taken or the one left behind? When the catastrophe screams across an ordinary path, rips a person out of this dimension, violently ends a human life, is the greater sorrow for the pain and fright of that individual, or for the loved one left behind, who will look forever into days and nights with empty eyes, as memories march forever into the past? Gone the touch, the embrace, the smile, the voice, the routine of daily life. What needle and thread can mend such a tear, a gaping hole in the life of the one left behind?
I am Jazz Jasky, reading for myself this time. This is on page 39 of the book, Diamond Hoedown. The man doesn't dance, won't say why not. He hikes sure-footed as goat, his stamina boundless. Music addict, he takes his fix sitting perfectly still. No tapping of toes, no snapping fingers, never a shuffle while walking, nor spontaneous spin of glee. But in the yard, I've watched how he swings the diamond hoe. Confidence, affection, apparent in firm grip, graceful sweeps. Deftly, the two in tandem slice out weeds, trench for seeds. His eyes following diamond blade, lost in his element, rapt bliss. No question who's leading, no danger of mishandling. Today, I borrowed that hoe, set to skimming away packed earth, noticed the easy coupling, smiled into the rhythm as hoe touched down, and I knew this is his dance.
My name is Elizabeth Krupp. Risen. Why can I not touch these 3 weeks when my life was swallowed with the mathematical expectation of her death? Why can't I write about sponging water on her mouth, the nurse rude in the final moments of decay, the last days when I wouldn't see her, the long minutes waiting for morphine, the lipstick and curled hair her body had not seen in so long, so long. Her accountant husband rushing the funeral so it would be on their 60th wedding anniversary. The grandson you never knew, who could not see why he should go to the graveside service or comb his blue hair. Is my grief too raw to touch, or did I bury it with you in the Pearl Cemetery, amid oak trees, hills, and sky, mercilessly absent of rain? Can I bury it here? Can you come to me now, risen, and reassure me that you did not struggle as you grasped for breath? Reassure me that it was okay to not watch you die, that it was okay to dread visiting you, the odor of bleach, urine, feces, that it is okay to make love, to cease mourning, to cease looking back.
In memory of the ones we love. I know your soul is up in the sky. I know you're an angel that can flutter and fly. Your happy face is missed every day. One day I'll be with you, forever to stay. I look up at the clouds so puffy and white. I look up at the stars when it turns into night. I know your soul is up in the sky. I know you are up there, passing me by. The time that I knew you turned into years. We shared good times, bad times, laughter and tears. There are things that we did that I'll never forget. Your death came too soon. I'm not over it yet. This life we live, I know something is wrong when the people we love are suddenly gone. I don't understand why you had to die. When I think about this, it brings tears to my eyes. I know you can hear me, your spirit is near. I'll say this out loud, I want you to hear. I'm not afraid of death anymore. I've never felt anything like this before. My life down here sometimes doesn't seem fair, for I am still here, and you are up there. The minutes and hours and months pass me by. It will only take time for my turn to die. I'm one that has faith that this life never ends. I'll soon join you in heaven. Our souls will be friends. I do miss you dearly, the thought makes me cry, but we'll soon be together to flutter and fly.
Barbara. So, Ron.
Yes, I'm Barbara Carter.
Ron Jorgensen, pen name Dr. Charles A. Stone, as most of you might know. Poetry late at night, which you all know is the best time to write poetry. Poetry late at night. My joints do not know how to stay quiet when I creep with open eyes from the edge of our dreaming. With crackles and pops, they match thunder in its capacity to wake you, but you sleep on. You don't hear the songs of my heart or feel the world quake as I slip away from our heat. The voyages I take late at night remain mine to cherish in the solitude of my private waking, unless I leave a trail of metaphors for you to follow when you awake and find me gone. The same metaphors I would follow back to the comfort of your arms if I were your Hansel, Afraid you might not be there because your dreams carry you beyond the fringes of my poetry.
This poem actually came up in a conversation earlier about keeping track of poems after we changed the titles. This current title of this poem is Under the Surface. Putting poems in order. What order? Time perhaps? How do I chronicle my poems? When the poem was conceived or the latest revision? Was this poem born pregnant with another poem like an aphid is born pregnant? Or just like a cicada living underground for years before coming to the surface? Can I see this poem grow in size as an insect larva on a plant? First instar very small, last instar slightly bigger than the adult, slightly bigger than the final revision. Perhaps it is a dragonfly. A thought flies over the water and deposits a very tiny egg. Under the surface it hatches and grows, molting from one size to another, until one day it breaks the surface with new pairs of wings, now for all to see.
I got your peach and apple pie. I got passion juice on the side. I got my mouth a watering and feeling alive. Was it a mango that tempted Eve, or she just wanted to be free? She blamed the snake, so he slithers on his belly for all eternity. He's eye level with the dust, as she's filled with lust. Lust for life well lived, well worn, free will. She refused to sit and just hold still. It was not a curse, but the most shining hour. Eve was smart, she went for the power. It was a setup from the start, she only played her part. Serve up some of that forbidden fruit pie, dear, and roasted serpent on the side. Old Satan, he lied. You've got nothing to hide, and you've got nothing to fear.
Okay, start. The picture, please. Group picture.
Start from this end at the top.
Yeah.
I'm Darla McBride from Houston, Texas, and my poem is Harvest. Uncle Walter says it's been a good year and asks about the garden. The western light is low and slanted, illuminating the rooms with drowsy gold dust. Newly picked tomatoes grace the dining table and cover the counters, a bounty of hearts blooming red and welcoming. Gathered conversation is quiet. Comfortable farewells are being said as if he were simply taking a trip out of town to return home next week. His eyes alert, smooth, peaceful, as still as a mountain lake at dawn. For now, the promise of harvest conceals sorrow. He comments tomatoes are best savored when left to be nurtured long by the vine, vibrant and sweet when allowed their due time. Outside there are more, ripened to perfection, waiting in baskets on the doorstep.
My name is Liza Wolf-Francis. Thank you for letting me go early. I have to pick up my child in a little bit there. And my poem is called Cranberry Harvest. Once in our 6 years, we harvested cranberries, corralled crimson-beaded water that wrapped around our waists like a ballet dancer helping us jump. Millions of these pink, yellow, scarlet beads hop, pop up and down with wooden pushers as big as us. We rake them against the water in hordes. Our sweat salts their juice. Some escape the calm, subtle lassoing, the uneven rake, but in the end, we win. They pull back, compliant. We are cranberries, bobbing under the fall sky. Our tired muscles separate and divide. The past, the plan, these morsels of unplanned grief, deep disguised red, send them up the crisscross escalator and out of their flooded bog. This marble fruit cut in half has a clover shape I didn't expect. It's too late for surprises. Seeds fumble in my oversized hands, a crouched delicacy, a poisonless berry. In the end, it was only us in those rubber waiter outfits, standing in the water with nothing else to do, and the blush coloring gone.
I'm Anne McCready. My poem is Long Enough on page 48 and is one of those poems snatched from a coffee shop and conversation overheard. Long Enough. They meet for mocha lattes at a suburban cafe on Saturday morning after a late night Facebook reunion. Barely recognizing each other, eager to make up for lost time, hard years and long distance, sipping from sturdy white cups, they skip the household years of baby showers, public school programs, senior proms, rush their words to get to the heart of the matter at hand. Midlife marital trouble, serious, both of them. Sizing up each other's secrets, they try not to tell everything in hard stories that get easier to exaggerate with chocolated caffeine. So they each have another cup and talk long enough that confessions become complaints and embarrassment burns their recently lifted faces. Long enough that the Muzak version of the top 10 songs they sang together as teenagers becomes a soundtrack for a film about a pair of 40-something old friends who meet for coffee and find their own troubles better company than those they left behind. Saying goodbye and promising to message, they drive home, remembering now why they fell in love with their cold cereal husbands. Those amazing men they each decide to invite out for breakfast next weekend, right after they check their tattered high school yearbook to see how much their aging friend has changed.
I'm Stasia McFadden.
Yay.
Thank you. You're amazing. I'm so glad you're still here. My poem is Catwoman's Next Life. This poem coughed itself out like a hairball. 2 days after Christmas, she borrowed $10 from her father for gas and a pack of cigarettes, then disappeared well into the new year. Heartbroken phone calls and drunken midnight prowlers keening at the door revealed she had gone back to him again. Just a memory now, merci mon Dieu, though it pains us to revisit. We look past her alley cat character, beneath the facade of the artful dodger, believing we might heal the wounded wings of an angel who has fallen often. Next Christmas, I will polish the silver globe ornament, fill it with catnip sachet, hang it on the tree, and pray it will keep her entertained enough to stay.
I'm Elsie Cogswell. My poem is on page 18. The sadness of a playground in the rain. I doubt that squirrels miss being chased up trees by barking dogs. In rain, children cannot play and can only ponder the emptiness of not running, the silence of not shouting. Incipient lives pause, hang there, siphoned of joy, sucked into a rainy day whirlpool. Despite bright names on 100 crayons, a classroom hour with a coloring book lacks the ripening color of spring, imitates a bland and flavorless sky. So much innocent humanity never comes outside to grasp games in imagination's fist. Inky nothingness replaces a creative day and washes a chunk of childhood away, voiceless in a downpour, streaming down the cheek of time.
My name is Timothy Ogene. It's Ogene. A lot of people say Ogene. It makes me feel like I'm from Ireland. I was born and raised in Nigeria, but I live in Texas now. I moved here 2 months ago.
Welcome.
Great. Thank you. I like the weather here. It's as warm as home. Everybody says it's hot. I'm like, oh, this is wonderful. Yeah. My poem is on page 57, and the few words there I want to talk about. The last line, there's a word there, Kru. The Kru people are they're indigenous to Liberia. It's a tribe in Liberia. So this poem is my attempt to connect my experience here with my experience in Liberia. I lived in Liberia 2 years, for about 2 years. At dawn, raindrops rose from the base of oaks. Margarita's voice came strong to me, like the distant echoes of sleep drums and conga. The oaks, rooted in time, whistled as one. She sang. That beautiful beast of burden, named after that hard mix of lime juice and more, sang to me. She sang again, the sweet melody of Kru women in worship, backed by hidden sangpas. The oaks listened. I listened. The Bentley, that wind in 4 wheels, roofless in the familiar sun, fleets me out of Wembley, down Oak Hill, where more wheels wait for grain. Heads turn to see the markings, the sacred passage for potent portions, made by blade, in blood and tears. At night, before the crescent moon harvested the stars, Margarita's voice returned to me, like the unheard voices of Kru kids at dawn.
I'm Catherine Durham Olmixon. The last weekend in wasted time. An early spring rain graces the sleeping. Fledglings, seedlings, stars. The old man snoring, his body curled like a young fern by mine. It's Saturday, a week before daylight abdicates, the last days before dark dawns, work hours beginning before breakfast. How flurries of time swirl when imagining our passing or change. Like a watery globe, salt summer and snow captured in grass. We stir, watch the birds budding on a branch, knocking off first peach blossoms in their dance. Fresh light shattering through our window.
I'm Elnita Owens, and my poem is One Stinking Hug. You reach your long arms out to me and hug me tightly, but immediately dump me. You are then so brazen to go right next door and hug the trash there. But that's okay, you stink anyway. Anybody who thinks I'm bashing a man or my neighbors, I was sitting at the window when the garbage truck came by. I became the garbage can.
And I'm going to read you a poem about my 4-year-old daughter when she tried on my wedding dress. And this is a picture of doing that.
That's cool.
Her 4-year-old eyes shone brightly as she studied her image in the mirror, her small form nearly lost in the generous organza folds of her mother's wedding dress. What she found there was a dream of being a beautiful bride someday, attired in white fluff, sprinkled with lace and pearls. The magic of the gown transformed her, despite its enormity. She is unaware that this fairyland She is unaware that this fairy tale dress is the symbolic doorway leading from a self-centered life to a life of responsibility and maturity that she cannot even imagine. Though her own life is made safe and stable by the journey her mother began while wearing this same gown as she committed her life to a partnership with her father. Let her enjoy the romance of the lace and pearls, even revel in it. The implications will be revealed to her when she is ready to know them.
Herbst. Die Blätter fallen, fallen wie von weit, als welkten in den Himmeln ferne Gärten. Sie fallen mit verneinender Gebärde. Und in den Nächten fällt die schwere Erde aus allen Sternen in die Einsamkeit. Wir alle fallen. Diese Hand da fällt und sieh dir andere an. Es ist in allen. Und doch ist einer, welcher dieses Fallen unendlich sanft in seinen Händen hält. Autumn. The leaves are falling, falling from afar, as if withering in heaven's distant gardens, with gestures saying nay. And in the nights the heavy earth is falling from all the stars into the quietude of loneliness. We all are falling. This hand here falls, and look at all the others. It is in all of them. And yet there's one who's keeping all this falling with infinite tenderness in his hands.